we're finally here, performing for you. If you know the words, you can join in too. I'm not doing the rest of the rap. I often forget the last part.
That's basically all I knew.
The wonderful plot twist, so we can have an Eggman final battle because everyone loved that from Colors.
Why did he? That's so dumb. Honestly, this is lame. For some reason, it's disappointing.
Gas?
And also, like,
what are
random.
Yes, it's just like, what are you talking about? It's just just this thing being random and undeserved, and Tails being out of the cyborg thing without any sort of situation. And no really resolution to Eggman working with Sonic this entire time.
Tails doesn't even see. He literally just makes poses behind Sonic while he speaks.
Yep. It's like Commander Peepers and Lord Hater in the first few episodes at least.
It's like a Mario. Well, actually no, because in a Mario game everyone's posing. There's like no one talking, everyone's posing.
I really hate that Lava Mountain 3 is what ruined my really good streak of getting all the red rings for some reason. But oh well. Welcome to the final boss. Guess what it is?
This is really funny.
No, I mean, things are going to start looking very familiar in a while. Remember those lasers?
I think.
That is the exact attack done by the Super Death Egg robot in Forces.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that...
And how we have to do multiple homing attacks on the thing just to get to the end.
I was thinking that this is basically just for, like, it's literally... It just seems like Forces with a lava world. But I wasn't versed enough in Sonic to be like, is this Forces? It feels so much like Forces.
And guess what? This and Forces are just basically copies of the thing in Colors. Like, not even joking. When we do Sonic Colors at any point, you will see just how uninspired these things get. Like, they did one cool thing once. They're like, oh, everybody loves that. Let's do it 3 more times.
You know what? It's good though. Because
what's good?
It's like. What was it? It's. I remember I read a Lesson Media video where they said the people watching Die Hard in reverse. Eventually, you get to a great movie, and I'm thinking this is a similar situation where we start with Forces. Like,
and that's the final boss.
And then we go to Colors. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be another phase.
Nope. That's the final boss.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, we'll start with Forces, and we go to Lost World. Like, oh, this is nicer, and then we'll go to Colors. We're like, yeah, this is great. The Sonic series is progressing great.
And here's the so-called
Sonic Adventure 2.
And then here's the so-called resolution. You didn't even need Eggman this time. Sorry for doubting you, Tails. Yep.
In your face, Eggman.
I'll be back, Sonic. I'll find another conch, and the Zeti will be mine.
No, you won't. You never even explained where you got it in the first place.
You know what? Where's...
Honey, why isn't my jetpack working?
They're not going to end on a joke.
You know, here's the thing. Maybe the best thing that should have been for that was that Sonic would be holding the hose and said nothing. It's like he didn't have to say anything, and the joke would have actually been funny.
You know what?
Oh yeah, so everything that died, just like, we'll just give the energy back and everything comes back to life. That's how this works.
I mean, that's a trope. Whatever. It's dumb, but I get it.
Also,
is that
for a
Hex,
machine,
or is that
no, that's on the ground level, I think, but the trees are still weird. Also, Knuckles is perfectly useful, just doing stuff now and being with the animals. and doing that stupid line. Just like, why were you here? Like,
That was
seriously, there is
dumb.
no
You
actual
just
good
said
reason
after
why
a
he's
day.
here.
You should not. They should not have implied that Sonic lost or took a day.
I mean, that was a lot of levels, man.
Yeah, that
And-
was. Come to think of it, it has to be a day. Because Amy and Knuckles spent literal weeks just in that same spot. This game's dumb. This
Wait,
is
you
really
thought it
fun.
actually took way longer than a day?
No, because I mean, it's a lot of levels.
Yes,
But then
but
it doesn't
I
make
thought,
sense because I want to say Amy and Rory. I
what?
want every single thing. Because Doctor Who, the Doctor's companions, Amy and Rory. I want to say Amy and Rory. Amy and Knuckles would have just been standing there for a week. And that's ridiculous. So it has
I mean,
have
to be
taken
fair,
like a
you
day.
you do have some, because of how the levels was. I mean, in Windy Hill, there was one point where it just turned evening into night then morning for some odd reason.
Sure. Plus, I mean, you know what?
Maybe 2 days, and they
Yeah,
just
I'm
spent a lot
thinking
of stuff,
it's
lot of
Sonic.
time in Windy Hill.
He runs really fast. This is not gonna take 2 weeks. So yeah, that's such a weird thing to come to terms with. All the Sonic stories just take like 1 or 2 days. But yeah, he
Well,
runs
not
so fast
all
it
of
makes
them.
sense.
Sonic Heroes takes about 3 days. Sonic Adventure 2, there's a lot of and Sonic Adventure 1, there's a lot of stuff that happens in morning to night. So I'd say, I don't know, 5 days maybe around.
You know what's weird? It kind of makes Eggman worse. Imagine spending years and billions of dollars making city-sized machines, planet-sized machines, machines the size of the horizon, and then Sonic just runs through it in a day and destroys everything.
It gets
in one
worse.
day.
It's absolutely the worst in well, I'd say no colors. It's the worst in colors. Because the amount of effort that goes into what Eggman builds in that game is staggering.
Yeah. So, so yeah, it that's something I've never thought of. Also, it's weird when the game reminds you, oh yeah, this is up in the air, because you see this sky, and it's like, how could they have missed this? The sky's a different color. How is the last hex lost?
Yeah.
You just look up and say, why is that?
I mean,
Why is
everyone
it-
knows where Little Planet is, and that's kind of the problem, because Eggman always knows where Little Planet is.
I guess that is true. That's good
It's just
music,
like
though.
he wakes up with a calendar, just like, oh, time to invade Little Planet again. It's back. It's back.
Yeah, oh, look at the time. What if Sonic Rangers, open world, and just Sonic locations are all locations, so you can just go to open world Little Planet in 3D?
That would be awesome. Doubt it's going to happen. And
Yeah,
honestly, I
that's-
swear, if they bring back Genesis stages again, I'm going to be angry. You have a list of other stuff that you can make. Also, Eggman fell like how many hundreds of feet? But Eggman is the most powerful and
I was
fastest
about
and
to say,
smartest
yeah.
thing alive.
He's not. He's fast. He's fast. He's smart, and he's strong.
Yep.
He's like Team Rocket. He should just be a good guy.
Yeah, there's a recent people have been like doing recent compilations of like Team Rocket just being just good people. The fact is that they were just taken in with a bad organization.
You know what's weird? And yeah, but you know what's weird?
Eggman without his mustache.
The Sonic characters, they're kind of pigeonholed
What?
in terms of, because like yeah, Eggman always has to be like this. But I'm thinking about Mario game where
Oh, this is the level. hold your thought. This is a level that I said can only be described as pushing blocks. I don't understand what the point of this level is. This, like, if the blocks come closer, they get harder to push off, and they're unable to be homing attacked, so they can't just kill you like that. But the thing is, like, from what I understand, oh, and they also have shockwaves, and they hurt just by being, even though they look like they had no reason to hurt just by being there. I mean, they're blocks. But from what I understand, there is no feasible end to this level unless you let it end. And
So
I
then
could
what's
be
the
wrong,
point?
but that technically would make it even worse because you'd just be doing this for who knows how long.
Yeah, like if it was, I can understand something that's endless, but probably has to be a bit more dynamic than this.
Absolutely. Though you do get some animals from this, but at this point it's a hidden world. You beat the game. Why would you need more animals? And they're in
Yeah.
such piddly numbers. Well, I mean, I guess not piddly, but still not enough to justify any of this if you needed more animals for any reason, which you don't.
But yeah, Mario isn't afraid to make Bowser like an anti, not even a good, but like also a villain, like, also being harmed by a different villain, and then that's just that. Like the game didn't need to make Bowlet, Owlet, whoever,
Bowletta.
whoever. No, who's the person before Bowser? Bowser and who?
What?
Bowletta, right? But who was the person called before the fused with Bowser?
Cackletta.
The game isn't afraid to just make Cackletta be the villain. Even if you're fighting Bowser at the end, you're not fighting Bowser, you're fighting Bowletta. Like, if this was Sonic, Bowser would find some way to kidnap Peach in the climax of the game and still just be the main villain.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The problem is you're right, but only in recent years. In right before this, it used to be the exact opposite, to the point where Eggman is a complete joke. Help.
Where he's just. What do you mean? Like, he's never the final boss?
Sonic Adventure 1, Chaos final boss. Sonic Adventure 2, things get out of his hands. Even though he does pull off really great things in that game, things get out of his hands at the end. Sonic Heroes, things were secretly never in his hands to begin with. Let's see, Shadow the Hedgehog. He's one faction of the people in the game and ultimately doesn't really do much of anything useful. You can kill him in 3 of the endings though, for some stupid reason. Sonic 06, he kidnaps Elise, sends Sonic to the future, and then things get out of his hands again.
Oh, so it's a course correction.
Yeah, even Sonic Unleashed, where he has his grandest plan overall, things get out of his hands at the very end again.
Yeah, but I mean, even just not being a villain in the first place. Like, imagine Forces and Eggman didn't exist and it's just Sonic vs. Infinite. Like, I don't think Eggman needs to be in the boss of every game.
I mean, to be fair though, part of the problem is that in terms of alternate things to work with, that's more around the comics because they don't really have other than the Deadly Six now, they don't really have anything that's not allied with the Eggman Empire as a main villain. That's not some sort of mindless monster.
Yeah, but I mean, they could easily go into the next game and say Infinite went off on his own. Then again,
Yeah,
isn't the Phantom Ruby destroyed or something?
Yep.
Mm.
Up. Okay, it's like they just barely made it through. Also, Tails got the tornado fixed, so that's nice.
Yeah. That world was more interesting
The
than the first.
problem, I mean, part of the problem with all of this, again, is that they're afraid to. They'll swing their ideas, but yet still they'll just create a new mold that they don't want to break. Is the problem?
Except when it comes to gameplay.
Yes, just like Sonic, as seen by the creators, is a mess of contradictions. Other than,
Because
I mean,
Rangers
at
does
least the
look like
games.
it's just going to do something new again.
What the heck happened there?
Yeah.
But it's still just like, oh, I forget because I know I must have read something as to why they don't like blending things together. I mean, in terms of the freedom fighters thing, that's more of an, I think,
Oh, is
like
that
an
it? That
American
couldn't
version.
be it. Oh,
Well,
okay.
what?
I meant for the level.
Oh, okay. For the freedom fighters thing, I forget if there's any like rights thing that that they're working with. I think people said that there's no way that it's a rights problem because they re-released Sonic Spinball recently, and those have references to the freedom fighters in the game. So,
Hmm.
or was it that I keep forgetting if the information that I'm thinking of was if they released Sonic Spinball, did they take them out, or did they re-release Sonic Spinball? I'm pretty sure it's the latter. But other than that, like the most interesting thing that brings this to mind is the Sonic Villains um, channel, where somebody made a channel based off stories of what if the multiverse villains started to like work together to defeat Sonic. And it's like, we have a really good cast of characters here that can be improved upon. We have Scratch Grounder and Coconuts, which seem like really ineffectual, but they are almost functionally indestructible in a way. They do reference that. And then there's Rosie, Scourge, and Ixis Nagus from the comics, and they're way more comic villains than they could have chosen. But the problem is that those have had story setups, and you can't just bring those into the games. There's Sleet and Dingo from Sonic Underground. Unfortunately, Sonic Underground is so weird that I'm sure no one ever wants to see it again past its ending. Then there's a Sonic Boom Shadow, who they did nothing with when they had the chance. Even in the cartoon, no explanation, nothing.
Oh yeah.
There was, well,
I mean, Sonic Boom is probably coming back in whatever the name of the new cartoon is.
Sonic Prime. I hope so. There was, what else am I missing? The Princess Cat Girl from the OVA, but that was just a joke because Eggman brainwashed her to be evil so that they'd have an OVA representative.
Okay.
Because the only OVA villain that's technically there would already be Metal Sonic. So yeah. Not only that, but Metal Sonic's more interesting story characterizations. What happened there? Metal Sonic's more interesting story characterizations are practically comics only. They do make it so that it's like, oh, Metal Sonic can have his own autonomy in certain cases because he's so built with that. But they don't do anything with it. I mean, the last time they did anything even remotely close to that was Sonic Free Riders. And who's gonna play till the end of Sonic Free Riders?
Yeah.
So, dilemma after dilemma over choices of what to do. Why are you stopping? The thing is going to continue. This is a terrible idea, me. You'll never make it. Seriously,
Looks like it's already gone.
seriously, why did they put those 4 things there? There's no way you'd have any amount of time to just stop. Even if you were to like boost onto this and just do some really tricky maneuvering, I'm sure you wouldn't make it in time if you wanted to get all of them. I guess maybe that's not the point. No, there's no room for that here. And if anything, parkour would slow you down because it would make you go on the it would make you climb up the capsule instead of jumping up. To the next life, or the cotton candy sea of clouds there.
Mm.
And of course, they're like hidden world with this, which again, just you could have put even the tiniest bit of lore here, and no one would be mad at you. There would be no reason to be, but no. And here's me trying out this, like, what? But turns out these are scrap brain-esque balls, so you can just run with their own gravity.
Mm.
And then there are these things that I'm cautious of even touching. But then they become actual enemies once you pop them.
Literally sounds exactly like Pac-Man.
I mean, I don't have the sound on for certain reasons, but I can imagine why. I don't. Okay, let me just check here to see if I can take. Oh well, I guess they just pissed off then. You have fun living your life wherever this is.
Was coming. But
Yeah, more.
We'll let those 5 take care of it.
We're gonna go off and create a new business, and we're going to have it destroyed by capitalistic society.
Oh, you can. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can kill them if you get the direction right.
The aiming seems a little too hard.
It's not. It's just that you'd have to prioritize getting to where you need to go safely and in time. Killing them is secondary and something that you'd want to do, but you don't have to. Luckily, these, even though these things bounce, okay, really? I just had to get it at that exact point. Dang, I was saying at least they don't pop each other when they bounce.
Yeah.
And I'd like to also point out, like, oh, these things just have animals in them. That's wonderful. I mean, that thing has animals in it. I mean, this, while being an interesting boss, what is it? Like,
it's one of the inhabitants of the Hidden Zone.
The one thing we're just like, yeah, these Lost Sects have also have other indigenous life. We're not gonna explain it. They're just giant Pac-Man monsters with teeth. They're here now in the hidden world that exists.
Is that my? Was that
Nope,
your mouse?
It's mine. It's mine.
Okay. Huh.
And here I'm just like trying to see, I think, if there's any more that I can do. I think
so. The Lost Hex is found.
Yes.
So it should show up in more games.
But why though? Unless we're dealing with Zeti, there's no reason for Eggman to do anything here.
I mean, they find reasons to bring back Little Planet in minor ways. Why not?
Yes, because Little Planet has its own set of super powerful gems that Eggman can use to get his. If he has.
Why was the Lost Hex lost if there's nothing special about it?
Because they lost it. It's basically
Make a compelling argument.
At least with Little Planet, they have the time stones where if you get them, you can you can get your work done in by using the power to go to the past to start your work, and have Eggman's machines do most of the work in factory level reproduction. So by the time you get to the present, things are already happening, and you can jump to the future to reap the dividends.
So as easy as that.
Yep. So Sonic practically has to patrol there every year at this point.
Oh, it's once a year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, not too bad considering Sonic loves adventure and everything, but like after a while, it must get tiring. Just like, ugh, gotta go to Little Planet again.
Yeah, especially if nothing happens. It's just he'd be bored. Which is probably what Eggman would do. There should be a game. This should be my last game. There should be a
There
game.
was a game where he was
Sonic
bored. Sonic
goes to Little Planet.
Forces. 6 months, remember?
Yeah, but I mean, Sonic goes to Little Planet. Eggman does his plan not on Little Planet. He's just knows Sonic goes there every year, so he does a plan on Mobius. Perfect.
Yeah, and then all the other useful characters can do useful things, right?
Exactly. That can be a spin-off.
I was being partially sarcastic concerning Sega. I will never. I looked back at one of the last cutscenes, the war cutscene of Sonic Forces, and just like it just hit me again how lazy and terrible and bad it was. Just you say yeah, you say even now that Lost, the when you asked me with Forces and Lost World, just like which one is worse story wise, I will still always say Forces.